Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm DarkJack, and in this video I'm playing some Call of Duty 4, and as you can see from the title, it's COD4 was the best Call of Duty game. Notice that I didn't say COD4 is the best Call of Duty game, because Call of Duty 4 is no longer the best Call of Duty game. Not because the other Call of Duty games that have come out are so much better than it, but because the way that people play Call of Duty 4 now has made the game extremely frustrating to play, and because of the bad connections and because of all the quitting, as I'll talk about and show you guys later in these videos. So I've chosen 3 gameplays from my recent play session, and I played for about 2 or 3 hours, and most of the games that I played were extremely frustrating. There was lots of quitting. There is no host migration in Call of Duty 4 World at War. So in the first 2 gameplays that I show here, the host left the game. And so in Call of Duty 4 now, there are lots of people using UAV Jammer. Tons of people are using it. And so when Call of Duty 4 first came out, very few people would use UAV Jammer. You might see it like once every 3 games. But now you've got like 1 to 3 people using UAV Jammer every single game in Call of Duty 4. Because of Black Ops and because of Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2, the stealth perks are dominant. So when people go back to play this game, they play it as if it were a newer Call of Duty game. And so they run UAV Jammer and a silencer with dead silence, and that's extremely difficult and frustrating to deal with, because there is no counter to UAV Jammer in Call of Duty 4. So you have to use Juggernaut or Stopping Power and just hope that you have the upper hand against them in a gunfight. And also in Call of Duty 4, not only do you have to deal with all this UAV Jammer, you also have to deal with tons of snipers because of all the Call of Duty montages that are out there. So I'd say roughly 25% to 15% use UAV Jammer, and then roughly 50% of the people playing use the sniper rifle, and then the other 25% play the game normally using Stopping Power or Juggernaut. Because Call of Duty 4 now, it's frustrating because of all the snipers, so you basically have to run Juggernaut. So I basically run the P90 with Juggernaut almost every game because of all the snipers. And if there weren't so many snipers, I could run Stopping Power or maybe even UAV Jammer, because that is an extremely effective perk now, even though it's so frustrating to deal with. So this game is pretty difficult to play now, because when you play the game you end up running a game in progress. So it usually puts you on the losing team, and then if you do really well, it puts the bad kids in the lobby on your team because it stacks the games by points. You can't have the people with the most points on one team. And then also in this game you have to deal with lots of lag because there are not very many people playing this game, and so as a result the lag is really bad, because it's rare that you play against people that are close to where you're living. Because the way Call of Duty matchmaking works is that it puts you in the lobby with the lowest ping, but now there's only one game for each playlist. And so if you leave a playlist, if you leave a game that's in a playlist, and then you start searching in the playlist again, it just puts you right back in the same game. So the connection is not very good. It's rare that I ever get a 4-bar, even though I have a great internet connection, unless I'm host, because the host is living pretty far away from me. Also in this game, the hit detection is really bad, and it's really apparent after playing Modern Warfare 2 and the future Call of Duty games how bad the hit detection is in COD 4 and World at War. And so not only do you have to deal with bad lag, you have to deal with bad hit detection, as well as dealing with all the UAV Jammer and all the snipers, which is pretty frustrating, and it makes me mad sometimes. So when I was playing in this gaming session, most of the games that I played I was getting pretty annoyed, and I quit out of a lot of them because it would put me on the losing team when I would join a game in progress. Therefore, I would just get frustrated and I would leave, and then I would just go to a different playlist. Then in that playlist, it would put me in the middle of a game on the losing team as well. And because the enemy team had all these UAVs up, I couldn't do much. But in these gameplays I do pretty well. But then once I do well, the host leaves. And in Call of Duty 4 there is no host migration. And so when you're playing and you do really well, most of the time that I do great and the host is on the other team, the game ends prematurely. And it prevents me from getting good YouTube gameplay, because once the game ends prematurely, I've only got 20 to 30 kills, whereas if the host had not ended the game, I could have gotten 50 to 60. And that makes it really, I keep using the word frustrating, but there really is no other way that I can describe this most recent gaming session. Because in COD 4 now, even though it was the best Call of Duty game, because of the way people play, because of the lag, and because of all the quitting, because people, when they come to Call of Duty 4, they're coming to Call of Duty 4 from other Call of Duty games where there is host migration. So it's like when they get host, they forget that this game does not have host migration. So they just quit out and end the game for everyone. And then it's like they don't care about anyone else. Because when Call of Duty 4 was out, before Modern Warfare 2 came out, before host migration, if you were the host, and you could tell whether or not you're host by when the game first starts, you can look at the bars next to your name. And if you have 4 bars, when everyone else has just 1 or 2, you know that you're the host. As well as having a longer countdown. And so people would rarely quit out of games when they were hosts back when Call of Duty 4 first came out, because people didn't really understand anything about dashboarding. They didn't know how dashboarding works, how you could use that to save your stats. And it wasn't until much later that dashboarding became prominent. And people would not quit out even if they were doing badly when they were host, because they didn't want to end the game for everyone else. It was just kind of an honor thing. But now, because there's so much quitting, especially from Black Ops 2, people who are used to quitting in Black Ops 2 come to this game and just quit out and end the game for everyone else. So I hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay, and I'll see you later.
Mission accomplished.